so far it looks like the offense has taken steps. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think every single week, the more reps that we're getting, the more looks that we're getting from different defenses, we're just progressing, and I think that's the best thing that we can do right now.
What about the efficiency the other day? I mean, you went 19 and 23. That's probably what you want out of this offense, just to be that kind of efficient. How has that progressed over the last 6 weeks or so?
Well, I was just doing my best to just put the ball in play and just taking what the defense gave me. I think, I was able to, find the offensive line really gave me a lot of time, and the wide receivers were getting open as well, and I was able to just kind of dink and dunk my way down the field whenever I needed to. But I think also just our run game is what's opening everything up, and when we're having a balanced approach like that, it's hard to stop.
Can you see the confidence build when drives continue to roll and the running game is rolling? Can you see the confidence out of everybody building with the offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just feel the tempo of just, the consistency of each play working, and then we're able to build on it. And I think, what was a really good sign was just about every single time that they scored, we scored. So for us to answer, even when, we're facing some adversity as a team, I think that's a really good sign.
I know you didn't play in this game last year, but considering the way it ended, is this one you guys have had circled?
Yeah, I mean, every team, in the Big Ten, we know it's going to be a tough game, and especially these guys, we know that, obviously we're playing for a trophy this week, and they're a really good squad, so, we're going to do everything we can to play our best this weekend.
What's the magnitude of this game after last week's game?
I mean, every single week we're taking it with the utmost, we're attacking every single week, with some serious, intensity. So, I mean, especially this week, since we're playing for a trophy, and we got to win a trophy back, and this is our first road game this year, so that adds a little more to it. So we're definitely looking forward to it, but we need a good week of preparation before.
Okay, they're fresh off back-to-back shutouts. I mean, just about the defense, what's kind of your at least overview of kind of what they bring to the table?
I think right now they're just flying around. They have, I mean, as you mentioned, like they're not allowing a lot of points right now, and I think it's just because of the amount of energy and effort that they're playing with.
I've noticed this year you guys haven't had too many 3-and-outs or 3-and-punts. What do you think the reason is for that compared to last year?
I mean, I'm not sure. I think just overall, I think the farther we go, the more that we're going to be comfortable with, what we like on normal down and distance versus what we like on third down. And I think, as the season continues and as we continue to find what works and what's our identity, that's just going to make things easier.
I guess I'm pointing to third down conversion rates way up. So is it because you're getting the third and short more? Is it just how you feel more confident third down? I don't know.
I mean, I didn't really play a ton last year, so I mean, in comparison to last year, I can't really comment on that. But as far as this year, I think kind of the same thing. I think, we've mixed it up between, we've had some really third and shorts, but also we've had some third and longs as well that we've converted, which is huge for us. If we're able to, third and long, I mean, that's as hard as it gets. And especially, the closer down in the red zone, that's the hardest down in football. But if we're able to continue to convert on third downs, I mean, that's what's keeping our drives alive.
You personally, are you feeling more comfortable? I mean, Kirk has referenced it numerous times that you got to get more comfortable, you got to feel better. Are you feeling more comfortable out there in the pocket?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I think, I feel, at this point, I'm just, playing football, so I'm just doing my best to help us win, and I definitely feel comfortable.
You mentioned the running game. How does that take pressure off of you, what Caleb is doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think not just Caleb, but really the O-line, what they're establishing up front is huge for our offense, whether it's the play pass, whether it's movements, or, overall just drop back. I think when we're playing completely balanced football, that's when we're at our best.
Caleb Johnson, what's his personality like?
I mean, he's just a fun guy to be around. I think, K2's like, me and him have, our relationship has grown a lot over the course of the last 2 years, and I'm just really proud of, the way he's attacked this season, and I just can't wait for him to continue to work.
What makes him fun to be around?
Just his personality. I mean, me and him are, that's my boy, I mean, yeah, he's just a really good dude.
When you look at the blocking up front, Well, there seems to be some alterations with how you guys run zone, and you're not running full outside zone as often as you used to, as more of a mid-side zone. How has that helped you think the way the blockers are getting to the second level and enabling Caleb Johnson or Kamari Moulton to really hit the hole as hard as it is, and then also to be able to get past that?
Well, we have a lot of different schemes as far as mid-zone, outside zone, gap schemes. So I think it's really just more of our variation that's making it difficult with our motions for the defense, and I think that is what's truly allowing our O-line to get to the second level.
Cade, it seems like Jazz Patterson is really coming along right now. What do you see from him that really stands out to you?
I think just how hard he runs. I think Jazz is always falling forward. He's never slowing up before contact, and I think the effort and really just the recklessness that he runs with. That he earns a lot of respect from the guys, the way he runs.
Now that you've kind of gotten in the game flow with Tim Lester, like what are just your impressions of kind of working with him in the game setting?
Yeah, I love playing for Coach Lester, and I think, just the more experiences that we have together, the closer our relationships going to get. But I think overall, just what I really enjoy is just like kind of the in-game conversations that we have, and so far I think I would feel comfortable sharing my side of things, and he definitely feels comfortable sharing with me some things. And I think just the more we communicate, the better.
Is there any?
Now that you mentioned that you're really feeling like you're just playing football now, that you're over the injury and everything like that. When was the last time you felt like you were able to just play football?
Man, it's been a really long time. This is the best I've felt in a really long time as far as my body, and really not even having to worry about my body. And I think that's just an overall sense of relief.
How much does that do for you when you're out there?
It does a lot. When I'm able to, be confident that, I can move around or I can take shots, and I think, that's just one more thing on my plate that I don't have to worry about.
Should we expect to see more shots downfield against Minnesota?
I'm not sure yet. It kind of depends on, we're still in the making of the game plan, but, every single week we want to have the balance between deep shots, quick game and everything. So we'll see.
And not to bring back bad memories, but what do you remember from that locker room after Minnesota last year?
It was just a pretty sour taste in everyone's mouth. I think, the way that it ended, especially with it coming down to the wire like that, a lot of guys were pretty upset about that loss, but this is a new season, this is a new team, and we can't expect the game to be as tight as it was or for the point differential to be what it was. We have to completely, go into this game with a blank slate, and I think, the more that we do that on attacking the teams that we've played in the past, even though we have a lot of veteran guys, I think it's important for us to attack every single week with a new mindset.
Okay, just the tight end usage, it just seems like Luke through the first 3 games, only a handful of catches. Is that just a byproduct of the scheme? What are you seeing out there?
I think, as we're continuing to build this thing, I think, we're going to find ways to get the ball to Luke. And I definitely know that, that is something on our minds and definitely on my mind when I'm dropping back to pass.
When it comes to playing with Tim Lester as your OC now, I know you've had a change in OC the last several seasons. You feel like there's, maybe more of a flow to it? You feel like you're getting used to, play calls and the communication with him in game, and like we talked about, just being able to play and communicate with him and then go.
Yeah, I think really I think a big part of that is me being on the field as well. That, I'm on the field and I'm able to, actually be playing and be listening to the call, and that really just I'm having more communication with him instead of watching.
So you can hear him now? You can hear him now? Because then the first game you said you couldn't hear him very well.
Yeah, so we actually upgraded our headsets after the first week. So yeah, we have new mics. They were, I know that they upgraded those, so now I have no problem.
You don't have to go like this.
Dan, answer his question. How do you feel like the offense, now that you guys are 3 games in and about to go into conference play, how do you feel like the offense as a whole is coming in together with this new offensive scheme?
I think overall it's just a work in progress. I think, the steps that we've taken every single week has been huge for us, and I think overall the more steps that we take going forward, we just have to continue to get better, and I think, I'm really excited just to see how this thing ends.
How many times have they played the Minnesota fight song at practice? Have they played anything loud like that just to get used to what you're going to hear?
Yeah, we've been hearing the fight song in the weight room a little bit, but then also, because it's an away game that we're expected that, obviously it'll be loud, so we're going to be adding some crowd noise tomorrow to practice, which is a pretty common thing.
Usually in this game, it's about a third Iowa fans. So is there going to be cheers too?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, this is actually the only time I played at Minnesota was COVID year. So that was, obviously a long time ago, and I wasn't starting yet. So that was the last time last time and the only time I've been to Minnesota. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was the opener, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was.
Joe Milton won the Heisman that year on the first game.
Yeah, he played really well that game. But yeah, that was. Yeah.
What's the next step we've seen big plays in the run game. Still waiting on that in the pass game. Is it yards after catch? Is it downfield shot? Because I feel like I heard you guys were hitting some to reach and all that stuff in camp. I feel like it's there, maybe? Big plays in the passing game?
Yeah, I think the plays are there. I think it's just going to come down to us executing them. And I think, when sometimes when you're able to run the ball that well, there's not a, if we're going to continue to do that, obviously some games that when we can, bring the safeties down when we're running the ball that well, but if they're going to sit back and just allow us to keep running the ball, then we're just going to keep running the ball.
In the season opener, when you threw the touchdown to Jacob, you mentioned that you guys had run that play in practice, but never that close to the end zone. How many new experiences like that are you getting in a game on average with the new offense?
Probably, honestly, a majority of the reps. I think a lot of the times that we can do everything we possibly can in practice to simulate a game, but every single week it's a new defense, it's a new scheme. So for us to try and create that in scout, but also that's a part of playing the game is that you have to be able to react.
Is with Tim being in your talking in your helmet, is that the first time you've ever had that? Where a coach has been able to communicate through the helmet?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We've never had the microphones in, and as far as my entire career has been, it's been hand signals.
So what is that like? Being able to hear him?
I think it just makes it easier. It's obviously other teams can't see your signals, or we don't have to make it so that every single play has a signal. I think it's easy for us to just, for me to just get the number or get whatever the play is when he just tells it to me.
It seems like you've really been on the same page with Jacob. Kind of what have you seen from him since he